resolution describing Israel's sovereignty over Jerusalem as null and void. But in response, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has called the vote absurd. As we said earlier, Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas is due to meet President Donald Trump at the White House for the first time. Trump met Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu last month and expressed optimism for a two-state solution. And I'm joined now by Mkhaimar Abu Sada. He is an associate professor of political science at the Al-Azhar University in Gaza. Thank you so much for joining us. Given President Trump has long been seen as very pro-Israel, how are you expecting this meeting to go?
Well, it's no secret that President Donald Trump has been very supportive of Israel. We have seen this throughout the presidential campaign during 2016. And since he has taken office, he has shown very strong support for Israel and the Israeli leader Benjamin Netanyahu. Therefore, this is not going to be an easy meeting between Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas and the US President Donald Trump. For a number of reasons. First of all, much of the U.S. president advisors are either Israelis or pro-Jewish lobby. And second, we expect that the U.S. president will probably put more pressure on the Palestinian president on a number of issues, mainly final status issues. And third, it seems to me that what scares the Palestinian leadership that the Arabs are prepared to go for regional peace with Israel without resolving the Palestinian-Israeli conflict. So this is not going to be an easy meeting, and that's why the Palestinians are fearful from a meeting with the U.S. president.
Let me ask you, just a few days ago, Hamas released its new manifesto, which reflected a softening policy toward Israel. Do you think that will have any influence on this meeting? What role might Hamas's new stance play?
That is definitely a very important question when we compare Hamas' previous stand with regard to the 1988 charter, which called for the destruction of Israel and the creation of a Palestinian Islamic State on all of historic Palestine, compared to the new political document issued by Hamas 2 days ago, which calls for the establishment of a Palestinian state on the 1967 borders. That is definitely a very flexible position from the part of Hamas. Now, whether that will be taken in a positive way by the U.S., it will be seen. But the U.S. and the Quartet has made it clear to Hamas and the Palestinians that without accepting the Quartet 3 conditions, and one of them is recognizing Israel, there will be no contacts or an end to the isolation against Hamas. Up till this point, Hamas hasn't recognized Israel and is not prepared to do so. But accepting a Palestinian state on the 1967 border is seen as a tacit recognition or a de facto recognition of Israel. But whether the U.S. will initiate contact or not, it will be seen. But I think the Jewish lobby in Washington will block any move from the U.S. administration toward Hamas at this moment.
Let me just ask you quickly if you have some insight into this. You know, President Trump often judges issues, if we can say that, based on personalities that he admires. Considering it's Mahmoud Abbas going into bat for the Palestinian cause in this case, how do you think Trump will like Abbas as kind of a negotiating partner or someone he can work with?
Well, that is a very important question also to look into it. Now, we look into two leaders who come from different backgrounds. President Donald Trump comes from the business sector. He has no experience in politics or in diplomacy, unlike President Mahmoud Abbas, who spent most of his life in political life and diplomacy. He has been the president of the Palestinian people for the past 12 years. He spent a lot of his life in different PLO posts. Now, whether they're gonna like each other or not, This is something to be seen when they hold their joint press conference. But I think Donald Trump is attracted to younger leaders, to much more decisive, strong leaders like Abdul Fattah al-Sisi of Egypt, like the president of the Philippines, Putin of Russia. So I'm not really sure he will be acquainted in a strong way with President Mahmoud Abbas, who has been seen by the Israelis and the Americans as a very aging leader, a weak leader who has no control over the Gaza Strip and doesn't represent all the Palestinians.
Okay.
There are a number of issues that maybe President Trump doesn't like about President Mahmoud Abbas.
Okay, Mkhaimar Abu Sada, thank you so much for joining us there live from Gaza.